Hello, my name is Andrew, and I'm part of Project Team 24, and this is Rooted, our lo-fi demo prototype. Rooted is a platform designed for newcomers to an area or a city, either from immigration, traveling for a new job, for other circumstances, where they can find community events and groups based on their own interest, cultural and background, as well as their language. I'm excited to show off this demo today as we go through many of our project requirements, including our lightweight user interface, our primary goal of matching interest with different events happening, and I'll also be taking you through some of the challenges and some of the backend progress that has been made. In this demo, I'll be taking on two of the primary personas and key user groups that we are working with. Newcomers to the platform that had never used this before, and experienced users that tend to look and create new events in their city. I'll be starting with the first persona, the person that gets to do the registration. So this person is someone that was recommended the platform or found out through a community or a reach out event within their own community. And here, they'll just simply see on our dashboard, find your people, grow your roots. A simplified name that really focuses on our goal here, finding people and growing roots within the area that you are new to. As you can see in our survey for a new account, we focus on very simple information, name, gender, and discoverable by users. This one being important for those that may not be comfortable sharing all their information yet within a new community, so that users that create events can't see all of your information. It also allows you to put your country of origin, add either an email or a phone number as your point of contact based on what that person has. And lastly, edit their interests, which is the bread and butter of how our algorithm to match events to users' interest work. So let's say after they put in this survey, they fill it in, we finish it. We get taken to our event dashboard. Here, we can see many things happening at once. We can see how an algorithm has founded events for this person being interested in sports, working out, and sci-fi movies. To our left, on our primary dashboard, we have a map, and this will help newcomers understand where these areas are. Because someone might not know where Burns Park is, but surely they can look in a map and see it's right down there. Let's say our user is particularly interested in this pickleball with English learners event. Let's see where this area is. Wow, that's a nice park. While it isn't the best photo for finding where this is, at least makes the area familiar for someone that may have never been to Burns Park before. That's great. Furthermore, there's an event description. Oh, play doubles. And whether you've played for years and never picked up a paddle, you can play. Great, because I've never played pickleball before. The event description of photo allow us to expand on the information in an event without overbearingly putting too much information on the page at once, which might be intimidating for new users. So let's RSVP to this event. There we go. It is now marked as I'm going, and I'm very excited to get to this pickleball match on Friday. Now that I'm done and I have an event, let's say I want to check out just an area where all this may be. This is where our dashboard lives. As you can see, the dashboard really contains your events. This can include creating events and attending events. Because our user has never attended an event before, we don't have any statistics, which make this kind of fun. But maybe this makes them eager to continue to go to events, create events, and go from there. So as we can see, we have RSVP. Maybe see the attendees. And we can also un-RSVP if we can't make the event. This really showcases how a new user might go through the flow of joining their first event. However, there are many more functionalities that we have not showcased yet, which we'll showcase in our next demo of an experienced user. Welcome back. This is now our second persona, someone that is relatively experienced with this platform, doing everything from creating events, going to events, and finding those roots within their communities, which they have now made connections outside of this platform. However, because of how strong and successful it was, they come back to make events and check in on new ones that are occurring. As an experienced user, after logging in, they'll instead be greeted with their My Events page, which is great because if they want to look either at a event that they're currently hosting and make sure there's attendees or do anything, this makes us quite easy to look at instead of a exploration page. As you can see, compared to our new user, this has been quite populated and they've done quite a few events. So let's say, oh, there's a pickleball with English learners that they created. Let's say they need to edit the description to be a little more descriptive of how the teams will work because it got so successful. They can simply click on the edit event. There's a few key highlights here. Understanding that not all date time formats across the world are the same, we give them a calendar that allows people to just simply pick, so there's no confusion there. We also have an optional photo and emoji upload that allows us to be a little more descriptive and creative when coming to creating events. Let's say this persona decides, I don't need to update anything. Maybe they have a great new idea for a new event. In the same exact layout as our edit event, we have our new event page. Our decision behind making them the same allows for consistency and a lower level of intelligence required to understand how to create and edit events, as sometimes it become overbearing for those that might not be familiar with online platforms such as ours. Let's say this person decides, hey, let's look at what events are going on. Let's go back to our Explore Events page. Now we have seen this before, but there are other features we did not go over yet. Let's say they know their way around the city. So let's just simply list out the events. As you can see, our tags become larger and we focus much more on the words of the events. This also becomes even more simple in our layout. It becomes less overbearing to those that might not really understand what's going on with a much more compact design as seen in our list. Let's say this person is interested in something like Spanish music. Typing in those key tag words, we would separate out. There we go, music in Spanish. And using our matching algorithm, Latin Artist Night, our best match. This was the closest response that we have. This is great. This is very exciting. So as you can see, the search bar allows people that might not really care for what is being put as their for you, or better yet, looks to find a way to find new unique events outside their comfort zone, find those events that are occurring. Lastly, let's say this person needs to edit their profile. Similar to our Create profile, they can go in and add interests and also add new points of contact, as well as if they're more comfortable, make themselves discoverable by users. This was a primary walkthrough of Rooted. Next, I will take you through some of our ideas and abstract parts of our database and algorithm design. And I thank you for joining us on the user face overview. Welcome back. This is a very brief overview of the work we've been doing on our database and backend. So to talk about our database, as you've already seen, we have very different variables for events and users, but they have a shared relationship between location, interest, and tags, which is very important for our database mapping. Here we have a bucket of users, events, and locations. And users, events, and locations all have primary keys that associate a given account with an ID, an event with an ID, and a location with an ID. Users have three primary relationships they have: attending events, hosting events, and originating from a location. For attending events, they can attend 0 to many, with a many relationship to users and events. And simultaneously, they can have many hosted events as well. However, events must have a host. Furthermore, events have a required relationship with locations, having a location which it is hosted at. A location can host 0 to many events. This is important to make sure that we restrain that events have hosts and locations to make sure there are no dummy events, or furthermore, there is no events that have nobody hosting or monitoring them. Lastly, we have a relationship between locations and users. Locations have a many-to-many relationship with users, meaning that locations can have 0 to many people originating from them, and furthermore, users can have 0 to many places where they have originated, whether it's multiple countries, cities, you name it. Now onto our algorithm. We're currently looking at a way to take the words and interested tags and use appropriate nearest neighbor or some kind of weighted matching, which allows us to match similar enough words given the right context to correct events, so that the vinyl event will map to a music event, close enough. We're thinking about using existing training and using dummy data to get there. Lastly, in terms of our backend work, we've already designed a lot of REST API calls for login, logout, and registered user that cover the basic insertion and deletion of user data within our database and for credential seeking. This includes making sure there's no SQL injection or cross-site scripting within our own design, given the code that we already have. This is all the work we have done with our back end, but we are continuing to work on this as we start to implement our front end that you saw